Talk about the Danish cult that ran secondhand shops mostly all across sub-Saharan Africa. I found out about this because I was living in Malawi in 2014 and BBC exposed this in 2016. But this story goes all the way back to the 70s and even continues to today. When I was living there in 2014, this was the second time that I was living there, and they had this place called DAP where it was basically massive piles of secondhand clothes. In the US and Europe, the West, basically, all of the donated clothes that don't go into the thrift stores basically get bundled into these huge packages. They get shipped off to countries in exchange, like for aid. It is a terrible, terrible situation, and our clothing waste is insane. And one of these places that I visited was this massive warehouse called DAP. Huge piles. I found some really great stuff in there when I was living there, but I did not know that the money was going to a cult. The cult's name is the Teachers Group, or Tvind if you're saying it in Danish, and it originally started in 1970, and it's considered a political cult. But really, it's just a group of people committing financial crimes that are wanted by Interpol. It doesn't have all of the kind of larger indoctrination, but the indoctrination happens very, very quick. Essentially, they started as some sort of alternative to the education system in Denmark, but their scope began to expand. So they were not just in school activities, they were doing fruit plantations and farms and shoe factories and sawmills and aid agencies and NGOs, used clothing shops and property, ships, containers, so many other things. Basically stealing from charities and people that really, really need the funds. This is our bad guy. He is 77 here in this photo from 2016. He's caught by the US authorities flying from LAX, and he's extradited back to Denmark in order to be tried for different financial crimes. They find him not guilty. They find him guilty, no, then they do an appeal. That was it. And then him and his cronies bunk off to Mexico, where they build a massive, luxurious compound in Tijuana and continue their enterprise. But because not many people are looking at Malawi and other countries in sub-Saharan Africa, that's where they go. Malawi, if you were ever looking for anything that had DAP, that is kind of the sign you would see. They would be in more remote places, not necessarily attached to the center of town. I guess you could say unassuming. Their philosophy is forget about family, only think about the Teachers Group. So DAP in Malawi was just one of the many things that they did. This is where these people are really gross. In a country where the average monthly salary at that time was around $80, the only way that people were allowed to be hired is if they sent up to 50% of their income to the Teachers Group. In addition to doing something called common time, where you just donate all of your free time for the benefit of the organization. As the article said in 2016, I wonder where this stands now, they basically had a goal to recruit 400 teachers all across Malawi. Literally 2 weeks ago, Sky News was also doing an investigation into their connection with children's homes. Important note that UK Aid and EU Aid doesn't go to this organization anymore. They're still conducting activities.